What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I want to sit back and enjoy this one just a little bit because it's a rare occasion of Banlist hype gone a little bit wrong. Blaster Dragon Ruler of Infernos is cooling down despite coming off of the list to one along with his buddy Tempest over here. And why is that? What exactly happened? He was heating up, he was off the list in Master Duel. That's exactly what happened. So many little detectives went, you know what, the Master Duel list is having similarities, OCG tying together with the TCG, and they're doing these special things a little different now, and so many people bought stacks of these thinking they'd make fat money off the list, but realistically, what's this card gonna do in the metagame? In the past, this happened with Magician of Faith, where Magician of Faith got unbanned, and people went, well, wait, what's Faith actually doing? And it spiked initially, and then came down slowly. But today's market moves faster than ever, and there's this bottleneck where even though there's somewhat good sales rates on this card, so many people are selling and competing because they thought they were ready for this moment, and you can see, yeah, it's floating around that same price, not even up, and a lot of people are cutting under, selling out, and just trying to get their money back on the card. And the rare, even lower than that. And Konami hasn't even reprinted this card yet, or we don't know where that could be, because Battles of Legends around the corner, but usually they take a little longer to reprint something with a list unless they knew ahead of time, which Konami can sometimes know that. Anyways, I digress. The point is, Konami's likely to cash in on this and reprint it at some point. It hasn't even had that window yet, and here the prices are down despite that list hype. Now, what's up that I did miss is Runics, and they are spiking hard. You could have got them pretty much half off what they were going for before. You see that dip over the 3-month graph from like 30 down to 15. Great job if you got them at this point. I said this deck is underestimated, but there is something else going on with this deck, and that's the reprint clock rather than the banlist clock. Tactical Masters is up for reprints in the 2023 10s. It is named, so the archetypes inside will be just Labyrinth, will also be Runic. We'll have to wait and see. But when it comes specifically to this card, it is spiking up hard. People are saying, okay, WCQ season go. And also, I've heard a lot of talks and rumbles about Sky Striker Runic. I don't know how well those two work together. I think they did just get another Link 2 or something like that, though, so maybe that helps even more. But Runic Tip here is way back up and has actual sales rates to back it, and it's going a bit crazy. In the collector rare, even more so. You see a little dip here to 53 on the graph, but it's not quite the story. If you scroll down here, cheapest are 65 going into 70 once again, where it had just recently fallen off in the 3-month graph. So if you got rid of them due to banlist fears, kind of bad timing. It ended up doing way better on the list, and now you have Striker hype here too. Also, another quick play spell, Forbidden Droplet here. The ultimate rares are going up, but the sales rates are interesting to me because it wasn't all that down. There weren't that many people selling it cheaper, but the ultimate rare is spiking a lot with speculation here, around 160, 170, and those were the cheapest, and there weren't too many of them, but this has been, you know, for a few months down to this price, and now it is back up towards lowest being 190, quickly towards 200. So maybe deep interested pockets, true hype within the format, but people are eyeing this droplet once again. A lot of the other cheaper versions are around $18 or less right now. And speaking of quick play spells, something I found while going through bulk, Magic Deflector, even the common, is way up with only 4 copies, 4 listers under the $2 mark when I was looking through here, besides the damage and light plays. So when, going through these listings, $2 is usually the easiest to end up getting from sellers, and especially if they offer free shipping on orders over 5. But not a lot of Magic Deflector commons here. I've called Magic Deflector a very good penny stock for a long time, a card you should be picking out of bulk. I certainly have as well. And the super rare has a market price almost towards $5, and with all that Runic hype, Sky Strikers play a lot of quick plays, so that deck together, as well as, you know, other ones in the format, not the worst thing in the world, because it also takes care of field spells, continuous quick play. This is a very underestimated card for a long time, getting its attention now. We have to replace Mind Hacker over in Kashtira, right? But this is getting sales rates. I just wanted you all to be aware. It may not be the replacement, but people had been long walking away and had been coming down in price, and we're seeing the first little turnaround here in the graph after Banlist Day, and a very up sales rates when we're going up and over through here. Like, actually check that out, versus if we're loading tabs from before, we get through a lot more time quickly clicking that, versus wow, so many sales in the last few days. So be aware, this could be going up soon, and people are looking at it as a realistic option, and it's still a pretty good card in the deck. We don't talk about cards going down in price enough though until after the fact, so I wanted to cover Legendary Duelist Season 3 here. Absolutely failed product due to the ratios despite the good cards inside, and those good cards inside are cheaper than ever. With Liquid Soldier, it used to be like bubbling 11 to 12, now down towards around $7.50 in market price. Soul Servant secrets are down, the Dark Magician secrets are down, mainly because this has been sitting on the shelf so long at a discount. Please take it from me, I'll take the loss on shipping and everything. And they're tired of it sitting there, so they figure, well, maybe I can open this and get a little more back than versus the shipping and fees and all that. And you're gambling when you do that. You actually can go plus on the product versus this price at times, but you're still gambling to open sealed, of course. Yeah, Magician Souls being a short print, not great. The main money is going to be in the secret rares, so when ripping open, those secret rares are going to be all that more abundant between these, and they continue to go down because people are finally just tired of it taking up so much space. Pot of Prosperity is mad down in price, and I think it's because a lot of decks value their extra deck in this format, and you also have Thrust. Look at this over the 3-month graph. Somebody in the Discord was like, maybe it's because of the new listing for the other pot that's a reprint, and we are in reprint season. We could see even more reprints of this card. I think it's more so just fallen out of favor as a whole, rather than the pot collection bringing that, you know, parallel rare. And who knows, hopefully it's like the OCG parallel rares where they're not as thick, and we get the double sleeve now too, so hopefully not discernible in the deck. But even first ed OGs back down towards $40, you love to see it. Now, speaking of triple tactic Thrust, after the list, this ended up spiking back up as it was headed down slowly. A lot of people still using it as an option here. I heard Striker tends to like this card as well, but again, I have not seen Striker in action. Around 6.9, not so nice because that's pretty expensive, but be aware, going back up. Now, also speaking of buyouts, we talked about Chaos Angel a little bit. It's down to 22 listers right now. Like when I started filming, now 20, so even lower. It's going right now, and it is being played in a good amount of decks. Again, I can get things wrong. I was pretty wrong about this deserving to be on top of the set. It's proving itself here, even though we don't have the Chaotical Magical Dragon, and it is doing its thing and selling out right now at a really rapid pace. Also, Apple Dragon, I didn't underestimate this one, but it's already a higher price than I thought it would be, going and getting a lot more love and hype. It's played in Sword Soul, of course, Dragon Link decks. This card is pretty darn good and is now going towards $17+ here. I wanted to cover some cards I didn't know were worth as much as they were. Speaking of Sword Soul, Crimson Blader here is up in price a good amount over time and is now like a $4-ish card for what it is. That's pretty good for a rare. I've been picking these out of bulk myself. Link Karibo, I did not know the gold letter rare or ultra rare without foiling was a $4+ card still. I don't see this played all the time, but it is in certain decks. Of course, I remember Link Karibo having its favor for a while with Ibli, but be aware, Link Karibos are all somewhat expensive, and the Jump ultra rare only being about double the price of these bottom end versions having market prices of 4. I think the OG Jump one is probably worth looking up, although there are 2 competing ultra rares. I just like the history of Jump magazines personally when it's near mint. But let me know which version you like the most, and if you knew it was worth this much money versus having such a small gap on the higher rarities. And then Synapse Mining, we did know and talk about this card going up due to, you know, Math Mech and that kind of stuff, but it's still up a very good amount. Synapse Mining gold letter rares here are towards $350 market price, and they're not not fire selling them or anything with the math mech, hits still around 350 for the lowest, the rest are damaged. So be aware, it's about $10 for a playset of this if you're just looking at Cyverse general decks, and we'll probably cover some synchro stuff next time with all those synchro hype stuff coming up. And I do believe this is actually pretty good in the future synchro decks as well, so be aware of that. You know, Dragon Tuner makes a token, all that kind of stuff tends to be pretty good in the synchro decks. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and let me know what you think.